Welcome to Manage to Engage, the podcast from clearandopen.com, dedicated to the evolution of you because businesses grow when people do. Serving leaders, managers, and people who will be, helping you reach excellence in your work and achieve your personal goals at the same time. Sign up for the free course at clearandopen.com. The secret you'll eventually get to with your shadow is they don't want to be in control in the first place. They really don't want to. They don't like the job. They know they suck at it. They're just waiting for you to show up, being big enough, and show them that you can do better. Hi, it's Joseph, and thanks for tuning in to Manage to Engage, the podcast from clearandopen.com. For part 2 of our 4-part series on how you can let reality win and stop getting in the way, we focus on the profound impact of making just one heroic choice, a choice in defiance of your shadow every day. What if one heroic choice per day could change your life forever? I offer weekly member webcasts and teach live courses on clearandopen.com because I believe with the right tools, anyone can eliminate the people, money, and time problems holding them back in business. And I share parts of these webcasts and courses on the show because I want to help you too. If you're enjoying the show and learning from it, I'd love your feedback. If you're listening to the show on an Apple device, all you have to do is open up the podcast app, click the podcast cover art, and click the link to leave a rating and review for the show. Thanks so much. I'd very much appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Let's dive in. We're talking about a lot of important principles here, and one of the most, I think, is practice. That no matter how bad your day is, no matter how beaten down or difficult time you're having or whatever, if you can just make one heroic choice, and that heroic choice just might be not hitting the snooze bar again. That can be the most heroic thing of your day. Feeling where your shadow wants to do a certain thing and you go, no, not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'm detoxing from caffeine right now.
Oh my.
And I don't use much caffeine, but apparently I'm so sensitive that the difference between 25 milligrams and like 18 milligrams is enough to make me feel like I want to die. I don't know. I don't know how that is because I don't use much, but I'm getting off of it. And I've cut it in half in the last week. And that moment where I'm pouring out my yerba mate, and it's like, okay, we're down to half a tablespoon today, and I can feel the voice in me that's just like, come on, just a little bit more. You can cut it tomorrow, just a little bit more. And then I put it down, and he's like, oh man, it's like it's that loud. It's like a crowd of people like when I miss like a golf putt or something. It's like, oh, come on. Just a little bit more. No. So yeah, it's only 20 of 10 here, and I've already done something heroic. Just shaving off a quarter tablespoon of drug in my breakfast. That's it. Just 1 or 2 of those a day. And here's the thing: content versus context. Because the shadow will say, oh, well, that's just one little thing. That was just a little bit of, tea you decided not to have. That's just that one thing. That doesn't have any bearing about everything else. You see, that's thinking in terms of content. Because the shadow looks at it and tries to argue content, says, well, but there's 100 other content things where I'll still have control. Right? But it's not. It's a contextual thing, because when you make choices like that, it's not about the tea or the contract you're avoiding finishing or the employee you're not holding accountable. It's not about that. In content it is, but in context, you made a decision about who you were going to be in that moment.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Yes, you can.
You can feel the shift.
And if you do that enough times, your shadow takes a back seat, because here's the secret. I hesitate to say this, but the secret you'll eventually get to with your shadow is they don't want to be in control in the first place. They really don't want to. They don't like the job. They know they suck at it. They're just waiting for you to show up, being big enough, and show them that you can do better. if you show an instant gratification oriented shadow, which is basically all of them, if you show them that enduring discomfort and pain in the short term produces long-term results, they're not stupid. They're going to go with that. But you've got to show them. You got to show them, hey, like right now, I'm showing my shadow's position is, come on, everybody drinks caffeine every day. What's the big deal kind of being an addict? You know, you just do it once. It's only a tablespoon and a half in the morning. You know, that's a fifth of what most people drink. Why are you putting yourself through hell and headaches and malaise and ennui? Why are you putting yourself through that just to kick it? My position is different. I'm not even going to say it out loud because his position doesn't even warrant it. I don't like being an addict of anything. And there's a longer argument. But for me to even counter his argument with a bunch of other, we're not equals. We're not equals. I don't have to argue that. I don't have to argue the other side. We're going to do it my way. And we'll find out when it's done which is better. And if it's not better, then I'll go back. But I'll go back because I want to. Not because this is the way we've always done and yada, yada, yada. And when I do this, I will have gained a kind of credibility with him so that the next time something like this comes up, it'll be easier for me to make that change, you see, because I'll be able to say, sort of implicitly or explicitly, I'll be able to say, the shadow will be like, oh, what's the point? Who cares? Hey, remember that caffeine thing? Remember when we were hooked on caffeine and couldn't wake up without it? And it affected our energy levels throughout the day and yada, yada, yada. And, you know, and I'll tell you what I know is going to happen is quitting caffeine is going to surface, already has begun to surface aspects of depression that I haven't dealt with because caffeine is incredible medication for depression. So it's going to surface that so I can actually deal with it, which is why he doesn't want me to do it. One of the reasons. So when you choose these little content battles, you're not just gaining the thing. It's not about the tea or the, you know, plan you're avoiding or budgeting that you have. It's not about that. It's about the struggle you have with your own destiny on a global level. And you don't know, is this the battle between you and your shadow? I don't like using the word battle because it purizes with them. Is this the management moment between you and your shadow that breaks the kind of camel's back, and then suddenly, boom, you get this extra amount of ground on them? And some of you have maybe not experienced that, because the thing is, basically your shadow runs your life until you have enough of these moments where you make a stand and you go, no, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do it this way. When you do a certain number of those, there's a shift. You could say where you go from, let's say you start 30% you and 70% shadow. That's what I would say the average person lives their life led by their shadow. 70% of their decisions overall are led by their shadow. And then you start to realize that and you wake up and it feels like you're pulling yourself off the ground by your own shoelaces when you make decisions. And we're going to do it this way, we're going to do it this way. And the shadow argues and convinces, and it takes you months and you finally do it. Boom, you just gained 1 percentage point. Does your life change? No, not at all, except in that one place, right? You gain some ground. And then another thing comes up and you battle and argue and struggle and whatever. Boom, you're at 32% and they're at 68, right? And then eventually you get to 51-49 and you're winning. And that you can feel. That's different. And sometimes it's not necessarily permanent. You know, you can make a shift, sort of like a basketball game, right? You could be winning the game for a while and then you're losing the game. And there's an energetic thing. You can feel it. Oh, we're losing now. And you score a bunch of points. Oh, now we're winning. And you know, sometimes it goes back and forth and you don't know who's winning or losing. It's just hard. But eventually you get to a place where you have been winning enough time to know what it feels like. And you don't ever really go back because you know that sense of management over your life, sense of empowerment. You know what it feels like, that that place is only a couple of choices away at any given moment. It's only a choice or two away. And sometimes that's hard to realize, but it's never not true. And that's the thing the shadow doesn't want to remember, right? The shadow wants you to think, oh no, you're down by 100 points and there's no winning this game. No, the fact is you're down by, a couple of free throws. Thanks for listening to Manage to Engage, the Clear and Open podcast. Join us next week when you'll be a little bit closer to who you're destined to be. Until then, know that Clear and Open is dedicated to the evolution of you, because businesses grow when people do. Be sure to visit clearandopen.com for the latest tools, articles, and free resources to help you on your journey. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.